Morning, everybody. Welcome back to Archer's Garage and Whatnot. Today we're back in the garage. We're doing a little bit of mechanical work. I've got a 2014 Ford Escape, and the customer states that the transmission has a little bit of a shudder when shifting gears. Not too uncommon for the Fords, especially I don't know about the northern states, but the southern states here, the climate here eats up this transmission fluid and breaks it down pretty quickly. And this car's got 92,000 on it, so not the most uncommon thing. So we're going to tear into it. We're going to change the fluid, and I'll walk you through later on how this customer came to me, and I'll share my displeasure with how this happened. But first, I'm going to show you guys how to get this job done and save yourself a whole ton of money in the process. So let's get started on this. All right. So the first thing you want to know about these is on the side of the transmission, there's a plug that you have to take out, and that's how you know when the transmission's full. In Ford's infinite wisdom, they didn't put a dipstick in here. They put a fill plug in here right about there, where you see my finger is right in there. So you fill it there, but you don't check it there. You check it by putting fluid in and watching it dribble out. However, you need to make sure your vehicle is nice and level when you do that. So you want a nice level driveway, and tape measure. You want to measure where you want a good starting point. So somewhere here, right? This is nice and straight. You're going to measure from here to the ground. Jack it up. Take your tire off so you can get through your plug. If you've got a lift, you can do this without taking the tire off. I obviously do not have a lift. So I'm going to jack it up, take the tire off, and then I'm going to lower it back down again so this is in the same height as it is right now. So I'm going to measure it now, take the tire off, measure it again, make sure it's in the same height. So it's at the right height when I'm checking the transmission fluid. All right, y'all. So you see I've got the wheel off. I don't have the vehicle level right now because I'm coming under here to drain the fluid. It doesn't need to be level when you drain it. But I have measured from the body line right here to the ground, and it is 15.5 inches. So when I get done here and I start filling, I want to lower it down to 15.5. But while I'm draining, it doesn't matter. So to drain it, see this plug right here. It's a 7/16 or an 11 millimeter. Both are about equal, so that's what we'll do that. And then when you're filling, you want the vehicle at operating temperature, and then you come over here and you'll remove that guy. And on this one here is a hex bolt. On some of them it is a Torx bolt, and I don't know what year and what time or who has what, but they've changed them from time to time, and I don't know when or why, but that's what they do. So anyhow, so we're going to drain it, and then when we fill it, we'll check it there. So I'm sure you guys don't want to watch oil drain, but this is what we're going to do now. So I'll be back when we're done draining. All right, I know I said I wasn't going to make you guys watch the oil drain, but here we are. See, it's kind of dark there, guys. You don't want your transmission oil getting that dark. I recommend 50, 60,000 and then change it. This one here's got 92,000. I don't know that it's ever been changed, but don't let it get this start. This is probably why the shutters started, because the fluid's just broken down. So don't let it get this far gone. All right. All right, guys, before starting this job, if you don't have a long, skinny funnel, get you one. That's about the only way you're gonna get down in the fill hole. So before you start, get that. Also, just to avoid confusion, I like to drain my oil in a bucket, and then I always keep empty buckets around for measurement, right? So I know this one's a gallon. I poured a gallon into it. I need to put a gallon in there. That gets you pretty well close. Then this is your best friend when it comes to transmission shutters, especially in Fords. This is your best friend. We got this at O'Reilly's. Not a sponsor. Again, not a sponsor. but this is your best friend. It is a friction modifier, and I believe, so when I worked at Ford, here, let me turn you around. So years ago when I worked at Ford, when these problems first started, we were putting friction modifier in that you would put in your differential, and it would make the problems go away. And I believe this is the same stuff, they just package it differently, so whatever you can find. But this stuff, I know O'Reilly sells it, not a sponsor, but it's called Shudder Eliminator, and it's like 10 bucks, 9 bucks, whatever. Again, not a sponsor, but it works. What I do, I pour a little bit of fluid in out of my quart jug, pour this into the quart jug, shake it up really well, pour it in there. That way you make sure you get it all in there, it's all mixed up at your first startup. Anyway, so again, drain the oil into your pan, pour the pan into an empty jug. That way you know about where to go. That way when you do your first startup, your fluid's about right. You don't want to start your transmission empty. It'll burn up your front pump. It's just a bad way to do it. So, good quick tips. Drain it in the pan, put it in a bucket, measure it out. So, all right, I'm gonna start filling it up. All right, everybody, we're back. Whew, it's been a little bit. It's only been a couple seconds for you, but I did the spark plugs in this thing too, and boy, that's the one I should have filmed. Oh, that is a nightmare. All right, so I've got this at 15.5 inches. My jack stand wouldn't fit under it like that, so I'm steering clear. Got my jack still under, tire off, everything. So you can see I already cracked the screw loose, or the bolt loose under there. I've got it to operating temperature. Let me steer clear here. And I've got me a piece of cardboard to go to my drain pan, because of course I put my jack in the wrong spot and I don't want to get my driveway all covered. So here we go. We got the drain plug. All right, you see, it's just barely trickling out. I'm gonna add just a hair because I want it to trickle a little more than that. It's not an exact science, but you want it to just crest over the threads. So let me add some more and I'll come back to you. Alright, so you see there, see how it's trickling out of there? That's a little bit much. I'll let it drain just a little bit more there. So I added a quart. So I drained 4 out. I put 5 in. So if you want to get technical, it was probably a quart left. My cardboard slid. I'm getting it all over my driveway. How you like that? Alright, so it slowed down a little bit. Put this guy back in there. And there we are. Alright, then I'm going to torque it down. I'm not going to call out the torque spec because I don't know if different years with the different hardware has different torque specs. So you'd be better off going online to look up your torque spec, because like I said, I don't know if different years have different torque specs. But there you go, guys. I'm going to put her back together and be back with you here in a minute. Alright guys, so that's done. Everything's good, everything drives well. It took me, I don't know, probably 3 hours. I did the transmission flush, I did spark plugs and coils, ignition coils. It's just a shame that stuff like this happens, and I'm gonna get on my soapbox here a little bit. So I got this call the other day. A good friend of mine is this lady's neighbor, and when she came to him, because he's a mechanic, a former mechanic as well, so he, was in the trade. She came to him and said, "Hey, took my car to the shop because it had this problem, this little shudder. And instantly they said, oh yeah, that year and model, if it's doing that, you need a transmission. They did no diagnosis to speak of. I mean, nothing. So you're talking thousands of dollars to this lady that, I mean, you don't know her background. You don't know if she has it. You don't know if that's her rent money. You don't know what her situation is. You're going to steal that money from her, and all it needed was a transmission flush. So a little bit of my history. I started working at Ford in March of '96. Back then, I was an apprentice, and my first stint in the shop, they put me in the transmission area. Back then, they were having troubles like this. And it turned out at first we were replacing the torque converters. Then it came to where, oh, you could flush the fluid, you could put this friction modifier in, and that would fix it. So I've been around Fords and Ford transmissions. No, I'm not a transmission guy, but I've been around it since March of '96. I'm not a transmission guy, but I've been around them for that long. Never once have I ever seen a transmission go bad or have to be replaced because of this shudder. Could it? Probably. If you let it go long enough, the transmission or the torque converter could go bad and throw all kinds of metal through the transmission. Yeah, I can see that happening. But I personally have never seen it happen. I've seen torque converters have to be replaced. But to replace a whole transmission because of a shudder, that's highway robbery. That's absolutely robbery. I am a Ford master technician. I'm an ASE certified technician on both automotive and heavy duty trucks. I know what I'm talking about. This shop that tried to steal from her, I'll bet you money if I walked in there today, I've got more certifications under my belt than their entire shop combined. So let them come after me and say I'm lying. It's just craziness that people would do this to people, especially a lady. I mean, doggone, man, that angers me. That could be your mom. That could be your wife. That could be your sister. It's a lady. I mean, it's wrong to steal no matter what, but dude, come on, man. What are you thinking? Just do your honest work. Would it be better to have a customer for life or once and then they never come back? So when I first started in the dealership, I went through an apprenticeship program, and they taught us that if you make one person happy, they're going to tell 3 people. If you make one person upset, they're going to tell 15 people. This woman right here, I'll bet you she's at 15. She's going to go around and tell everybody how this transmission shop just ran her and tried to screw her over. And then me, who I'm not even shop, I just do favors for people. I bet you people are knocking down my door now to do this. So it's just insane that they're trying to steal from people like this. So if you're a shop and you're watching this and you do this type of stuff, shame on you. You know, do the right thing. And I am not going to call this shop out by name. That's not the way I do it, because I hate bullies. I am not that way. I don't want people calling this shop and doing the keyboard warrior stuff, the internet tough guy stuff. I'm not all about that. But my videos are here to give you the knowledge and the know-how to be able to spot a scam when you see one, and also if you wanted to do the work yourself, to show you how to do it with just simple hand tools. I mean, you saw me. What did I have? A 15 millimeter on the plug to check the level, and a 7/16 to drain it. Simple hand tools. You can do it, guys. A little bit of initiative, and just I don't know. I guess you'd say just very simple mechanical abilities. But don't get yourself screwed. But I will tell you this. I'm not going to tell you the shop's name, but if you are in Lake County, Florida, be careful what transmission shops you go to. How about that? So anyway, guys, another lady saved thousands of dollars. What did the fluid cost her? $100. I don't know. I don't know what this stuff costs. Fluid's expensive nowadays. Or she could have been out a couple thousand. So I hope she takes it and does something nice for herself. Goes on a trip or something. So anyway, I hope you have a blessed day. I hope you enjoyed this channel. If you did, or I hope you liked this the video. If you did, subscribe to the channel, give it a like, a thumbs up. That helps me out. You know, I'm just a small little independent YouTube channel, and just trying to make a difference. So anyhow, I will be back real soon. I actually got a parts sponsor, and the parts just came in, and I'll be putting those in probably this coming weekend. So I'm very excited about that. It's not a big sponsor, but it's big to me. So anyhow, guys, have a blessed day, and I will see you soon.